Final update. My husband cheated and left me when I was mourning my parents' passing. Now he is running back to me after finding out I'm inheriting $7 million. I was already embarrassed, but I was also pretty pissed off because he'd been a total d-bag to me. He hadn't even bothered to check if I was alive for almost 4 months, and now he had the audacity to invite me for dinner like we were buddies. Then he went on and on about how brilliantly life had treated him in these past couple of months. After that, he asked me, after hearing about my parents' passing, if I'd given any thought to the inheritance I'd be left with. He said he wanted to wait a respectable period of time before asking how much we'd inherit from my parents. At that point, I was so incredibly furious that I literally ended up laughing in his face and told him that we weren't going to inherit anything together. Instead, I was going to inherit close to $7 million, and all he was going to get was a divorce. I had already been in talks with my parents' attorney and told him to sell all the property left to me because I had no intention of moving back home. The estimated amount of everything sold, plus the amount my parents had left me, came up to almost $7 million. My dad was rich, and my mother never worked, but she had a huge inheritance from her parents, so that wasn't a surprise. The probate process had to be completed before I got any of it. They'd already left me close to $2 million that I'd get as soon as the probate process was done, and then I'd have to wait a couple of weeks before their assets were sold off. They already had a bunch of buyers, so I wouldn't have to wait long. Since Jeff had been going on and on about how fabulous his life had been since he'd left me, I thought I'd give him a taste of his own medicine and tell him how wonderful my life was going to be now that I was done with him. We live in a state where inheritance is not considered a joint asset, so he couldn't claim it. Since he'd already admitted to infidelity, he couldn't claim alimony either. I rubbed all of this in his face and told him that his leaving me was probably the best thing that had ever happened to me, since I would hate to have to stay with him even after my life was finally coming back on track. I told him he deserved every bit of misery he was feeling because now I was rich and he wasn't, and it showed on his face. Then I stormed out of the restaurant and drove back home. He hasn't tried to contact me, but my in-laws have. They told me that what I did was disgusting because, first, I wasn't able to give him a child, which drove him to cheat on me, and now I'm not even willing to do the bare minimum and share some of my wealth with a man who had supported me all along. I hung up on them without any argument because I didn't think I needed to dignify any of it. But his friends and family have been hounding me ever since our dinner date about what I did, and I'm seriously beginning to question if it was the right move to rub it in his face. Maybe I should have just left without bragging about it. Update 1. Hey, I filed for divorce from my husband. It's been 3 weeks since the incident, and his family and friends have taken the bullying to a crazy level. They're literally going off on me on social media and have practically started a hate campaign against me for putting Jeff through mental distress on purpose just so I could get revenge on him because he had cheated on me, and then blamed me for his cheating as well by saying that I'd withdrawn from him emotionally. So he had no option but to seek affection somewhere else, and it just so happened that a friend of his was back in town, so he's absolved of all the blame, and I'm the villain here. Even though he was also facing fertility issues, I never went out of my way to find someone else and talk to them out of desperation. But whatever, I've filed for divorce, and I'm going to make sure that I don't let him off the hook easily. I'll also sue his parents and friends after warning them that they need to stop because word of this has reached a couple of my coworkers too, and I can't compromise my reputation over this. Update 2. Jeff's actually contesting the divorce. Why? Because he suddenly had a change of heart and now thinks we're meant to be together. I'm sure this has nothing to do with the inheritance, and he's doing this all purely out of his own love and affection for me. That's probably also why he made his folks stop bullying me online so he could get back with me, since he loved me, and not because I threatened to sue them all for defaming me. I'm being sarcastic, obviously. I talked to him a couple of hours ago on the phone when I found out that he was contesting the divorce, and he told me that he changed his mind and wanted to make our marriage work. I got into a very nasty fight with him because I was just feeling so frustrated and hateful. All he said to me was he knew I was mad because I still loved him, and if I didn't still love him, I probably wouldn't have called him. He reassured me that this was just a stupid game that I was playing to get back at him for the cheating and that we'd be just fine, and then disconnected the call. I'm in disbelief right now, and I cannot believe this is happening to me. I've never ever felt such a strong urge to slap someone senseless, but I guess there's a first time for everything. He's just a bad person, and I can't believe I even considered getting back together with him. Freaking gold digger. I could just scream right now, but that wouldn't help. Please, if someone has any advice on a way to mess him up legally, do let me know because I have nothing to lose at this point. Update 3. Hello, folks. It's been a while, but we're in the middle of the mediation process now. If this doesn't work out to bring him and me on the same page, then we might have to go to court, but I have a feeling that's going to happen. It'll be better for us since I can't see us coming to an agreement about any of this. He feels that we should stick together, and I don't. I don't even understand what the point of having a negotiation meeting is when this is pretty much non-negotiable for me. I do not want to be with him, it's as simple as that. I'm entertaining it because he wants to give it a try, even though it's exhausting. But then I know this will go to court, and I'm hoping that will make everything better for me, at least. I don't know about him, and neither do I care, very honestly. Update 4. Hey, guys. It's almost 2 months since the last update, and well, the case ended up going to court just as I predicted. I'm going to get a divorce, all right. It doesn't matter what he wants anymore, and boy was he upset about it. The probate is done too, and I'll recover all the money I spend on my lawyer and even more soon enough. Life's good, so I don't think I'll be coming back here anytime soon. It's been a good ride, but I'm fine now. Thank you for all the love and support. I couldn't have done it without you guys. I mean it.